So when it comes to social media and content creation, the lines can often be blurred on how strict copyright is in the space. General blurring, really. Feels a little bit more casual because it's social media, but that's not the case. We've got Unique Lambert on Zoom to help us sort through this. She's the CEO of Yazoso Digital Limited. Yazoso or Yazosa?
Yazosa.
Yes, Yazosa.
Yeah.
Got it. Morning, Unique. How are you doing?
Morning, I'm great. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. Tell me why we need to know about this, because, I mean, these days people everybody just posts because, you know, posting is a thing, and rules, what are those?
All right, so social media encompasses so many aspects of life and, you know, cater to so many needs. Like we can go shopping on social media, we can order food, we can stay on top of the news and look at photos to where we want to travel, businesses that we want to patronize. When it comes to copyright infringement, that basically is when you use content such as images or music or videos that you have not been given permission to use. So music that you don't own, for example, as simple as being on IG stories and you're, you know, like in your car and you're playing music, like you can get a copyright claim, a copyright infringement claim for playing music, even when you're on your IG stories. If you post a video or you decide to create a video and use, let's say, a Nicki Minaj or a Beyonce song that you have not been given explicit permission to use, then you can get a copyright infringement.
And you say can versus will because?
Will, because in Jamaica, the licensing doesn't always transfer into our region. But for sure, if you are in the States and you put up a video or a picture that does not belong to you, then your account can be flagged, or the video that you've put up, the audio can actually be removed from that. So you might actually see videos on social media, especially like TikTok, Instagram, even Twitter, even Facebook, where someone has uploaded a video, but they've gotten a copyright notification from Facebook or Twitter, whichever app, and they will actually take out all of the audio or they'll actually pull the video down.
Wow. And in some cases, they suspend your account. I mean, we saw Elaine post the other day that she put up the race and then suspend her account for a couple of days.
Yeah, so you can get either, you can either be warned. Some sites do give you a warning and then ask you to remove the post, or you will get a short ban, or your account will completely be taken away from you.
Wow. I don't think we know enough, or we try to know enough, try to educate ourselves enough in this country. I can't speak to the region. And oftentimes it's because when you think of LATAM, right? Latin America and the Caribbean, we kind of fly under the radar. So there are not many eyes here, so we tend to get away with a lot. But that doesn't mean that we ought to continue on this path. So for people who are either social media managing for people or want to look at this as a career, marketing, for example, making decisions for corporate entities, or just in our own spheres of life. Absolutely. What are some of the things that we need to know? I mean, I've seen people post pictures and don't tag the people who the source, which is another discussion that came up the other day. Do you tag your photographer? Do you not tag your photographer? Do you attribute this? Do you not attribute this? Can a media host just use a video and not attribute it? I mean, what are some of the basics that we need to get before we even type and press post?
All right, so when it comes to images, if you can locate the person who owns that image, then my suggestion is to contact them and ask them if you can use the image. If it's somebody that you completely cannot get access to, then what you can do is use the image, but tag them or just put source and either the name of the website or the name of the person who actually captured the image. And that's to avoid being flagged or banned, or for them sending you an email, because some persons will contact you and be like, hey, even if you ask permission and you didn't get a response, like, hey, I don't want you posting my content, because you posting the content, you're probably going to be taking away revenue by other persons seeing that content on your page. You are now getting the revenue that they could have gotten. So ask permission or tag the owner if you can. Ask permission. If they ask you to remove it immediately, or they will file a copyright claim. When it comes to music, you can do a workaround. Some persons will speed up the song just a little bit so that somebody can't claim copyright infringement on it.
But so if you speed it up, what does that do? Because it's the same song, no?
It's the same song, but it alters it just a little bit, and they may not be able to actually file a copyright claim on it.
Interesting.
But, yeah, that's a little workaround. It doesn't always work, but a lot of persons actually do it. But my suggestion, if you're making content, especially for corporate, especially if you're going into your YouTube, to put something in the background or so on, there are a lot of websites that provide royalty-free or copyright-free music. There are YouTube channels that are dedicated to providing royalty-free / copyright-free music. So you can use that. TikTok is a new platform that has completely blown up, and a lot of persons are downloading TikTok videos and posting them on other websites. And recently, Sony actually went to Twitter and was just like, hey, you have TikToks on your platform that have music in them from a popular artist, and you need to delete them. So a lot of persons recently, I think it was in June, were getting emails after emails like, hey, you have breached the DMCA, which is the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. You've breached this, you need to remove the post because this post has music that belongs to Sony.
I have one more question for you. Okay. Got that. As it regards memes, what are the rules that apply to memes and to videos that have been done like here locally that have gone viral? Can you just take them up and use them in terms of if you're putting a feature together or something together for a campaign, or can you just take somebody's stuff and use it, or are you liable to pay them for its use?
Jamaica, that is such a gray area when it comes to memes. But Jamaica is small enough for you to actually find that person who is either in the meme or a video. You can contact either the person who made it, or if you see that somebody has posted it, you can contact them and say, hey, where did you get this from? And sometimes it takes you, you have to open several doors before you actually find the person who the original content belongs to. But it's always suggested to find that if it's something super popular, you want to use that for an ad campaign or some kind of commercial use, then definitely find the source of that content and ask them if it's okay for you to use it in a particular aspect. Okay, madam. If we have more questions, where do we find you? Oh, you can find me on, my company's page, Yazosa Digital. I'm on Instagram and on Facebook. Okay. Guys, YazosADigital.com. Okay, gotcha. Well, it's information that really is useful, especially if you're doing this thing for a living. You don't want to end up in problems. Worse, you don't want to be the individual who gets your corporate entity into issues, because you don't want to lose your clients' pages. You don't want your client, you log into Facebook one day and Facebook is like, oh, your page doesn't exist anymore. You can't post for like a month. Correct. Use your clients' pages and goodly lose your work. Yannick, thank you so much for the insight this morning. CEO of Yazosa Digital Limited, Yannick Lambert. Thanks, Yannick. And there's always a reason, folks, to celebrate Jamaica. And coming out of this year's 59th year of independence and emancipation, we have a series of short videos from photographer and videographer Corey Hamilton. Let's have a watch.